Well, it was bound to happen, wasn't it? So, welcome to another episode of Really Broken Always, and there's probably going to be an emphasis on the words broken in this one, because stuff's broke. So, quick catch up. Not really done anything on the MG. I've pretty much got it back together, but what I was finding was this drain needed remaking. So I was waiting on parts for that, and I was waiting on studs and things for the turbo. Really, all it needs is the Jubilee clips bolting up, filling with water, filling with oil, running up and checking that everything's okay, and then she's kind of done. The valve stem seals I'm not done, but yeah, it is what it is. I'll do them in situ. This needs a carb rebuild, as it did before. Just don't know anything about it. But the main focus for today's video is going to be that. Okay, so brief introduction for those who haven't seen the previous video. This is my 1962 or 63 Series 2 short wheelbase Landrover. It's got an incorrect bulkhead before anybody mentions. I'm already aware. She's been fantastic. We've took her on a through laning days, all the way through winter. Literally, I use her every day. It's been absolutely pucker up until a couple of days ago. So, obviously, people who know these 200 TDIs, they've got a particular weakness on the cylinder head. Now, the telltale sign is they will blow oil, soot and stuff onto the bulkhead. Now, ever since I got this, it's been blowing a little bit of oil and soot onto the back of the bulkhead anyway. Not particularly very bad. But, of course, the other day, driving home, I heard that quite loud. And straight away I knew, yeah, I know what that is. And I'll show you in a moment what it's actually done. It's not damaged the bulkhead at least, but you'll see where the common issue is. So if I get my torch, you could probably see, if my shine there, that black stain. Now basically what that is it's the head gasket at the very back. Thankfully there's no water jacket around there, just blown, and it causes that stain. Now it is a very, very common issue on the 200 TDI apparently. They tend to go around 120,000 mile. So I would expect this thing's got a lot more miles on it than that. But hey, if it's only done that, then fair enough. So now, because we kind of knew that was going to happen with the slight oil stain it was doing before, I've already got the gasket set for it. So I'm hoping it's not scarred the cylinder head too much, that I don't need to get it skimmed or anything. So whether we get all of it done in this video, but at least this first part of the video will be getting all of this. I'm going to strip off that wing and get all of this stripped down. I've got some penetrating fluid, if you can call that penetrating fluid. It's not particularly great. Spray it all on these before taking all that side of the engine off, like the turbo and everything else, intake and whatnot. We'll get all this pipe work off, and then we'll just see how long this video is going to be and whether we then tackle that. Otherwise, it will be in the next episode. So I suppose what I should do is probably get ready. Right, let's get my gloves on. Now I'm changed, and we'll get to town on it. Right, so the spare wheel off, and carry on from there. Alright, so with that, the wing is pretty much loose. And she's off. So it's going to make things a whole lot easier. We'll take this off to start stripping that. But first what we need to do, we'll get that off, and then we're going to douse these the studs and everything for the manifold, because I'll take all that off in one complete piece, so we're not having to break the seal or anything. Yeah, we'll douse them in penetrating fluid. And that's probably going to be it until tomorrow, because I've got other things to be doing. And we'll carry on with it. Okay, so all of that has been sprayed and we'll let it soak, but I'm intrigued to see whether one of them undoes. So let's just try one, shall we? Now, that was far too easy. Let's try another one, shall we? There's one at the top. Can we get on that one? Might need to use a shorter socket on that. Yeah, that's not... That looks... Are they different sizes? I think that was a different size nut on the top of there. Anyway, you can clearly see that black spot now. Now the bonnet's not on. Let's find another one. I need to get me torch, really. There goes one at the top. Right, let's just see. Sit you down looking at the standard for a second. Wow. Now, either that penetrating fluid's really good, which is doubtful, but that didn't take much at all. Good morning, folk of the internet. So we're back in, and we're back on it again. Yesterday, obviously, we managed to undo the manifold nuts for the exhaust side, which I'm shocked they undid, to be honest. But there must be oil just leaking out because it's a Land Rover and it's probably kept them free all this time, or it's been taken off previously. What I did also go and grab again was the Haynes Book of Lies, which is sitting there just in case there's a procedure we need to know for undoing. I don't think there is. It's the usual typical just slight turns of the head studs in a central spiraling moving out rotation, but it's always best to check these things. But first thing, I need to get that bad boy off. I need to put my gloves on, drink my coffee, and let's go for it. So now it's time for the rocker cover, which, as you can see, the bolts undid quite easy, which they should do, but I have had this off in the past to do the half moons and the gasket, because we thought originally that little blow could have been just it squirting oil out the back of the rocker cover, but turns out it obviously wasn't. So this should come off relatively easy. And it should be relatively clean, because it's the time I've had it, which is under a year. I've serviced it twice, and I don't do a lot of miles. What we'll have to do is get a tin for all these nuts and bolts. There we go. She's away. What we'll do is we'll get a box so we can lay it out. Rocker shaft and things. Box here. Good for the push rods. Let's put that off. Then move all these to the bench afterwards. Okay, now progressively undo those rocker bolts. Okay, so the rocker shaft is off. You obviously just saw me, but there she is. So the next job is the push rods. Onto injector lines. I think we'll undo the top as it feeds the injectors, but I think I won't be able to get them out of the way. I could be wrong. They might just be able to move out of the way. I really don't want to be taking them off the injector pump. But I suppose let's just undo them and see what happens. If I've got to undo them off injector pump, I've got to undo them off injector pump. Well, I would say I'd be able to get that out of there easy because they've got some movement on them. So I'll be able to get the cylinder head out of there dead easy. That saves me taking it off from the bottom side. We're getting there, guys, we're getting there. Okay, so here's the Haynes Book of Lies. So you'll basically go in a spiral motion. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're basically going like that and working out and slightly undoing each of them. So in theory, you don't warp / bend the head. What we're going to do is get some Ziploc bags and label the bag for the studs that come out. So obviously we've got the back row are a certain length, the middle set are a certain length, and these ones here, the injector, are a certain length. So if we put them all in, at least we know. I know I'm going to be reusing them, but at least I can match them against the new bolts. So we've got all of the bolts bagged, and some of them look really nasty. I'm glad I'm replacing them. Rocker caps are in there as well. So now, in theory, should be a soft blow hammer, and this should free off, which makes sure I've got nothing else connected. Yay! And just like that, she's free. So then, guys, let's lift this thing off. Be caught. It's the gasket that's in the back. Right, she's off. You can clearly see it's going where it's been eating away at it, because I can see daylight through there, and it's obviously been, yeah, you see it's going there, and it's obviously been blowing through. We might have caught it right at the best time, really. I mean, you can see what's been burning it. What we're probably going to have to do is put a straight edge on the cylinder head just to make sure she's not warped. Just looked at the block, and let's see if I can get you over there to show you. I mean, I've just cleaned it up. I think this gasket has been on a while. It's probably had one in the past, but it was extremely dirty at the back. I mean, you can certainly see that scarring. That gasket, you can. I mean, I don't know whether the camera's picking it up, but you can just see. So let's go to the cylinder head now, shall we? So I've not flipped this over, so what you see is what I'm going to see straight away. Okay, so this is number 4. So let's see whether we can give that a bit of a wipe. If we zoom her in, sorry, you can clearly see where she's been blown though. I mean, look at all that dirt. So then, guys, give it a bit of a clean up. It's not too bad at all, actually. So I think we've got away with that. And what I have also done is, obviously I've got the straight edge to be doubly sure there's no bowing in the cylinder or anything, which it wasn't showing any reason why that would be a thing. I've even checked sort of against this edge with the torch down the back. I know it's not a fully scientific test, but to prove that there was no daylight or anything coming out. There we go. Hence with that torch just there, but there was nothing. So I'm fairly confident we can just clean this up, get the gasket, and wang it back on. So as when I've just spoken to Gregor as well, and he's mentioned about using the copper gasket sealant as well, just in case there's any imperfections it will take up. What we've also done is, well, if I don't know whether the torch will show it, because I mean you can see the light shining through there. So I mean if I change that to that, and you can clearly see where it's been blowing around that edge. Guys, that's where we'll wrap up this video, to be honest. Off camera, what I'm going to do now is clean up the face of the block and the cylinder head, ready for the next episode when we'll start refitting with the new head gasket, head bolts and everything else that goes with it. Obviously, if you've liked this video, please hit that subscribe and the like, and I shall see you in the next one.